So one of the most common things I am often asked inside my private practice or in my virtual programs is why do I keep attracting the same type of person? Or why do I keep attracting the same type of fucked up relationship over and over again? Regardless of the fact that I've been on 2 couples retreats and I've been talking about my intimacy in therapy for the past 10 years. And I have read a million self-help books on how to be a conscious partner, so on and so forth. Why do I keep reenacting the same shit, the same behaviors, the level of codependency or dysfunction inside of my relationships? Or I get the question, in other words, why do I keep attracting assholes? Or why do I keep dating crazy bitches? So I'm gonna tell you all about it and why this keeps happening. In a nutshell, whoever you were raised by and whatever environmental major influences were in your life early on ultimately set the blueprint for how you give, receive, and understand love moving forward in your adult relationships. So primarily across the board, I know this is a broad stroke statement and it doesn't exist for everybody, but primarily women are raising children. So it's the moms, who are in many ways in charge of child rearing and upbringing. And so they are the ones that set the tone for interpersonal dynamics and understanding intimacy. It could be grandma, it could be grandpa, it could be auntie, uncle, tio, whoever. But whoever your primary main influences are, they are the ones that set your emotional blueprint. Now, your emotional blueprint ultimately is your energetic signature. It is your baseline for the way in which you understand and engage in intimacy throughout your life. So the real kicker is that might be fine for many, but ultimately what happens is whatever dynamics took place, whatever energetic exchanges took place, whatever needs got met or didn't get met early on in childhood, ultimately then become a compass or a guiding post for how you seek out love, what you're attracted to in love, and what you are subconsciously anticipating on healing inside of love. So for many, you will attract a partner who will play out very similar energetic scenarios and emotional dynamics to what you grew up with. Not because you think it's amazing and awesome, but more importantly, because it feels familiar and it feels like home. And once you have that person who's going to do that dance with you, what you get to then start doing is making attempts at healing. So then what happens in our attempts to heal that we're not aware of, and we're oftentimes doing it unconsciously, we then start to reenact specific dynamics that feel very familiar and residual of our primary influences. So if you grew up with a lot of drama or instability, not only are you going to crave a lot of drama and instability in your dynamics, but you're actually going to intentionally recreate that, because if you can get your partner who you've now attracted that feels very familiar, that feels like home, and you can get them to play out those early childhood dynamics, in the back of your mind, you think that if you could get this person to be more stable, more present, more loving, less critical, whatever, they are actually going to heal these old wounds, these old parts of self that you so desperately have been craving to heal. The challenge with that is 2 things. Number 1, your brain doesn't know the difference between reality and the person standing in front of you and the wounds and the thoughts and the belief patterns that are being triggered from early childhood. So when that person who you've attracted into your life, that emotionally unavailable person, that unstable person, right, that critical person, your subconscious is saying, oh, please, let's play out this dance. Let's try to make attempts at healing. Let me try and get my needs met because I've been desperately craving that throughout the course of my life. And so when that person doesn't return your text, when that person slams the door and walks out of the house when you guys fight, when that person is hypercritical to you, not only are you feeling the emotions and the sensations of that interaction, but you're also feeling the 15, 20, 30 years worth of emotional blueprinting and trauma that you're reenacting in that moment. And so many people ask, why would I keep doing this? Because ultimately, deep down, each one of us want to heal, and we want to return to a place of emotional and mental homeostasis. And this in part does that. So for many, although you might find yourselves in reoccurring crazy situations or dysfunctional and quote unquote toxic patterns, just know that there's a large part of you that's really in those moments of crisis and conflict and the habituation of drama, that deep down what you're trying to do is you're trying to heal that really old wound with the person who you've drawn in, who you've attracted, that's playing out that energetic dance. The second challenge that comes with this is that usually the people that we attract don't have the skill set or the emotional intelligence or wellness to be able to create healing in these dynamics, because they too are also dealing with their own triggers, their old childhood wounds, etc. So if any of this is sounding even remotely or maybe uncomfortably familiar, it's totally cool. I've been there myself personally. But drop a comment below and let's talk about it. Share what's going on for you. If you disagree and you're like, no, I don't get this, drop a comment as well. Let's hash it out. We also can jump into this even further and deeper into my program called Life Camp, who I co-facilitate with my homegirl and colleague, Miss Ruby Christine. And through this, we take a deep analysis into the world of intimacy and understanding, or helping you to understand rather, your personal and individual emotional blueprint, and help you really break away from these subconscious patterns that we've all been ingrained with and conditioned with, so that ultimately you can not only start rewriting a new story for yourself, but you can also start writing a new story and a new trajectory for the love and the intimacy that you want to experience in this life.